We need it to be MacBook Air microphone. Check 1 2. Now we're in the building. Hello.
Are we live?
We are live. And
do you want to scoot that over, or do you want me to scoot towards you? You got your legs squatted out like you're about to birth a baby.
I'm just figuring out here what we're doing.
I'm usually used to going the other way. It's so weird.
Semi-prepared here.
No.
Give everybody...
Let's be real. We didn't prepare at all today. We didn't have the time.
Give everybody a chance to get in.
Our day was not what we expected.
It was interesting, to say the least.
We had great plans. Grandioso plans. I'm going to let Taylor get all set up before I delve into it. Because we want to talk about this first. It's so hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It really is. All right.
Are we ready?
Almost. We're going to give people a minute to get in here. I'm going to also share the link live on Instagram and all that good stuff. But the chat, I'll show you. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up over here so it'll be easier this way.
There we go. Now you're cooking with whatever.
Share the link.
Let's go. Let's go. Give them a let's go, Taylor.
What's up, everybody? Let's go. Yeah, the stream setup's
How's it going, Steve? Mikey, what up? Caden, what up, man?
What's up, everybody? Just gonna give people a minute to get in here on the stream and share it real quick on the socials.
Before we start talking about our day, we've been burning up the bass until today. Today we definitely didn't.
Till today. We were.
Today was I want to talk about it so bad. I can't though.
Well, we can start talking about it. I mean, people are just gonna have to go back. I mean, I just wanted to there's 15 people in here. I mean, we can start. It's 8:02.
All right. So you can
it's
start us out.
Really,
like what do you got going on now?
I was just.
He's triple playing.
I'm sharing it everywhere.
Mr.
Quick.
Juicy, that's the nickname.
Mr.
I love
Juicy
it.
Himself in the building. Dude, it was funny how many times I was saying or just when I'm out
what
there.
What up, man? Frozen Jam. What up, man?
I'm always trying to be optimistic and just
Dude, I love how he talks.
Camera on the GoPro.
I love how he talks to himself so quietly, and then I'm always going, "What?
I do.
What?" And then he'll just say it louder. It's so funny.
It is hilarious.
Either way, we went to our honey hole, our new honey hole this year today, and we didn't really get anything. We didn't get anything. We didn't get any bites or anything, did we?
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing today.
And we're on our way back. We're like, all right, what should we do? And we were like, let's just go back to the point near my house, near the dock, and fish there. And then at the last second, we're like, all right, let's just go. We're going to go to Greenbackville by foot. The wind's blowing out of the northwest. We're going to have it at our back. We'll be able to cast it forever. And we know we'll catch fish there. So we were like, I ripped it right. I was like, we'll go back to dock. We got literally I would say 200 yards from the dock, and the boat ran out of fuel.
It was, yeah. I mean, here, let me show you guys this little clip here.
That was my fault. I mean,
I didn't realize how low the gas was.
I felt like an asshole because Phil's always Phil came out the other day. Phil's like, dude, he's like, this thing looks like it's about to run out of gas because it's always blinking. You know what I mean? Because we only put. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I know this thing, and I know that boat so well. But what I didn't know is how much gas I put in the can, which is not good. So that's what got me screwed up. I found out now it was 2.7 gallons.
I don't want this to be too super loud, but all right, let's hit play. I want to make sure people can hear it. I don't know which one it is. Oops.
Just hit play and freaking let's see if we can hear it.
Dude, I can see the dock in the truck. We're literally 50 yards from the dock. We didn't have a paddle or anything, so we blew all the way from over there.
Taylor likes to say blew away. I like to say drift away. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul.
The end down there where it's shelter, where there's no wind. It was so hard. I had to paddle. Turn paddle over the bump board. I'm living in a bump board that's maybe 40 inches long. And we were just like paddling with it.
What do you mean maybe 40 inches? I like to say drift away. Give me the beat, boys. Turn it all the way up. It's literally, it's okay to turn that shit up. There you go. There you go. You can hear it. I can hear it now. You're good.
There's a duck farm behind him. I think it's going double.
No, it's not. It's you're tripping.
All right, maybe I am. But here we have another video too. It was basically I had an aluminum bump board.
It was a measuring tape. So if you watch our video where we were like, I was like, Taylor's like, I got a measuring tape.
Yeah, and we had a measuring tape the whole time. Little did we know.
Well, you can always find things that you don't know about on a boat.
Yeah.
So Taylor walked around this island that had a house on it and went to see if they had like a gas can laying around or anything for an old duck boat. And he found all kinds of stuff along the way.
There was stuff, but it didn't end up helping us.
No, not at all.
There's the cabin. And I was trying to fish too. Ended up in the boat.
I was listening to Drift Away, that song by Uncle Cracker.
Behind it, but yeah, I have those videos. Right there. Dang nabbit.
You can see my house right there. That's Richie's, the big one. But at one point you can see where we were from the boat. You can see my house.
There's an old decoy. Oh, what's going on here?
What?
It's behind. Frozen. You see it?
It is.
See right here. This is frozen. Hold on.
Oh, we gotta reset it again.
Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, now it's playing.
Are we good?
Yeah.
God, you make me nervous.
Yeah, it's fine. What's up, Dennis? Ended up in the boat. Right down there. There's a duck farm behind it, but...
This is so...
I just want to see how the sound is, but yeah. Right there. Dang nabbit.
So...
Friends nearby coming to help.
Oyster Dan, shout out to Oyster Dan. If you guys need oysters, Fallen Pine Oyster Company. He hooked us up today. Thank you, Oyster Dan. It ended, Taylor. All right. So, anyways, we ran out of fuel. Literally, we're stuck on this island. He's like, I can come. So I called a bunch of people. Oyster Dan was the only one that answered. I felt so bad asking him because every single time I've run out of fuel down here, I call Oyster Dan.
He always comes to the rescue.
And I felt so bad.
Shout out to him, man.
I'm like, dude, last time I ran out of fuel, I was literally, it was blowing like nautical conditions. And my boat got spun around with the way the current was going, where the motor was on the bank. And it was a nightmare, man. But either way, we were stuck on this island today for like 3 hours. And I sat on the boat the whole time.
I mean, we enjoyed it.
It was my sign. It was a sign from the universe that I needed to chill for a little bit.
Juicy little point.
Look, that was a juicy. Hear him? Juicy little point there. Did you guys hear that? Please play it.
There they do. Let's see if anybody's home. Look at this juicy little point.
There we go.
Juicy, baby. They don't come up here sometimes.
They definitely come up there. It's fucking juicy.
The
reason the fish come up there is because it's juicy. We got to turn this way a little bit. I feel like I got to turn my head.
Turn it however you need to. I can't believe it's making me reset this every time just to play it for these guys.
It's probably like wants you to stay on your shit, you know what I mean?
Look at this juicy little point.
Look at that juicy little point. You guys see that juicy little point?
It did look so good over there today. Like, I thought for sure I was going to catch one, but...
Dude, I feel like they got to be eating at night again right now. Like, I don't know. The amount we casted today, we think we would have picked... I did get a bite tonight. I missed the fish tonight, but it was it. I just had one fish knock it. There's Oyster Dan. Look at all the gas cans on our boat. It's so hilarious.
We're stranded here, and ran out of fuel. You brought us a gas can.
It's so funny. Look, see my wind curtain? That's my wind curtain, my homemade wind curtain there. I love it. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So it set us back a little bit being stranded on the island today.
Yeah, let's see one of your videos here. This is just some funny perspective for you guys from This was Jeff's view.
Yeah, this is
when
where I was
walking around scavenging. He was keeping
I didn't even have an anchor. It's the gas can holding us. Here comes my help finally.
Oh, and my trolling motor's broke, so I couldn't go back with the trolling motor.
Yeah, the trolling motor would have been clutch.
I just saw it
was working.
The trolling motor breaking last year is why I quit drinking alcohol, because I smashed it into a bank with the trolling motor, not the big motor, and it broke. That's why I stopped drinking. I'm like, dude, this is too much, Jeff.
Let's see.
Smashed my trolling motor into a bank, quit drinking.
Hey, that's a good reason to.
This is the definition.
It is funny. You and I are like always.
Look, that was a honey. That's a honey hole, guys. There's that honey hole. Like, me and Taylor were talking about this. We actually literally stood by this little hole for like a good amount of time, and we were like, if anybody would have saw us, they would have been like, these guys they're mental.
Yeah.
We standing by this hole like this, and I'm flopping my lure around like I'm an idiot. Striper opens up April 1st up there. Oh, that sucks. You can't even target them right now. Oh, that sucks.
New York. Wow. I didn't know that.
But dude, the clarity of the water today on these back sides of these islands where they weren't windblown was incredible, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. You got another good video in here. Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
There's another one right here.
I know there's one where you can see my house. I got music. Fuck.
It's okay.
We don't have to listen to it.
All right.
Yeah. There we go.
But you can see the water clarity. That's what you were showing.
Yep.
Look at
like that wasn't shallow. That was probably like 3.5 feet there, I'd say. But I mean, it was awesome. But either way, we burned the stripers up this week. And somebody said they want to talk tunas. What do you guys want to talk tunas? Let's talk tunas. What do you want? Let's talk tunas. I love talking tunas. This is called Double T, not the diner, the tunas. You know what I mean?
Honey hole.
Well, and also while we have, it was at 27 a minute ago. I was gonna say while we have a lot of people in here, we are gonna do our giveaway. If anybody,
I'm gonna have Eeyore do it. Eeyore is gonna pin his tail on. He's gonna do it.
I guess we can wait and see if there's more people, but there's 18 now. So just posted on Instagram and Facebook, but yeah, we're doing a giveaway. We're giving away a subscription to RipCharts, another one.
This will be the last one for a little bit. This is not our last one forever. We will be doing this very shortly again, but this is our last one for a couple weeks, I'd say.
Yeah, and you had to see the video to participate because you had to count how many times I said, let's go, feisty or juicy. In the last video when we were fishing, it's a double-digit number. I'll give you guys that hint, and it's pretty funny. So if you watch the video and happen to count, a couple people were hitting us in the DMs already trying to guess. I said, just save it for the live stream, put it in the chat. If somebody gets it exactly, if there's a tie, we're just going to pick someone, but going to try to do the first person that says it right. So,
Taylor's probably crabbed more in the back. Have you ever crabbed in the back bays?
Oh, yeah, there's crabs in the back bays. You got to do it in the summer, though. Last year, I heard from other people, or my buddy that is a crabber, that it wasn't that great, but he still, he did all right, made the best of it,
I was gonna say I've done it a couple times, just like back behind my house in the summertime.
Oh yeah,
and
July, August.
I actually have a really funny story, real quick. It was like September, and we went crabbing. Me and my buddy Mark back in like EA Vaughn, like with the old minnow. Ran out of fuel, and we had a bushel of crabs, and we had nobody. That was when I first moved down here. I didn't know anyone. You know what I mean? So I was stranded. Like we were stranded. We had to walk back to our truck with a big thing of crabs in our hand. And you guys, if anyone's ever walked on the marsh, you guys know it's not forgiving. We made it, literally, it was a mile walk, I'd say, back to our trucks. We made it almost the entire way. And on the last ditch we had to cross, Mark tripped and fell in the marsh with the crabs, and we lost, a lot of our haul. It was a pretty terrible situation, to be honest.
That's funny though.
But
yeah, well, it happens.
That was like one of my crabbing experiences back here. But there are like
I've done it with a trout line, like, or the little box traps where they're all tied
that's what we do
together
it with. Usually just go around and just set
or
some
have a
traps
buoy
up.
on each one.
Yeah,
like
that's what we do with a buoy on each one. Yeah,
and you can get them, but let's see. Well, now there's only 8 people. Well,
I don't care. Do you want to do it at the end or you want to do it now? I don't give a shit. Whatever you want to do.
We'll just say, how about this? If you're in here now, you can go ahead and guess in the chat, but we're going to ask again later too. So stick around, you can guess now. The chat's not going anywhere. It's not going to disappear. So we'll be able to look through. We're going to see who gets the closest or who gets the answer. But
tonight we were going to go into, so people, I want to keep you guys around because we're not just talking nonsense. We're going into inshore structure tonight on RipCharts, the topography. More detail than we did last week. Last week, we didn't really talk about like the lumps and what we look for. And this week, we're really going to go into the inshore structure off Ocean City, what we look for.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about predictions for spring yellowfin and like what you look for as far as like water movement, wind.
Yeah,
yep. Just all around our theory on what we think may happen for this season or what you think may happen this season. And then we're also going to talk about the local fishing report as far as, we just saw some pictures on Instagram of black drum being caught off the surf, big striper.
We'll just go into that now. Like let's just talk about the report now. So go ahead.
Remember, it's delayed, so people are doing their guesses now. So
are we telling the people now, or what are you doing?
No, I'm seeing the guesses. I mean, I just want to let them know we do see your guesses. You can go ahead and guess
I watched the video 3 times.
Well, we're not going to announce the winner yet, but I'm just saying we see your answers, we see your guesses. Just stick around, guys. We'll see. You only get one guess, but your guess is in. All these guesses are finalized, and ready to kill some tuna.
Me too, man. I cannot wait. Get into that. All I'm thinking about.
But yeah, we're gonna, I'm gonna give everybody another chance later towards the end of the stream before we announce the winner, and just say if you didn't already, and I'll be able to keep track. No cheating, and then. I know right now who's closest, but either way. So thank you guys for that, and get your guesses in the chat. One guess only.
Yeah, we'll go over that in a little bit. We'll cover the winner here in a little bit. There's going to be a winner tonight. Someone's going to be walking away with a freshie. Keep looking at this screen. It's screwing me up.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to be, someone's going to have a freshie subscription tonight for a year. Legit.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
But yeah, so do you want to? What should we go into first? The report. You were just talking about the report.
Yeah. So the local scene right now. We just saw some pictures, and actually, the quickest, easiest way because I think this profile is private, so hopefully he doesn't mind me sharing it. And actually, there's 2 I can show you.
Yeah, there's
black. I know Dave Moore is a friend of mine.
Lots of black drums showing up. What's that?
He was catching tog at the inlet, which is just a good sign. It means the water temps are warming up, and to catch them, from land inshore like that this time of year is pretty good. That's a good sign. And then on top of that, another good sign that the ocean temps are warming up, like you were saying.
Yeah.
When the ocean temps start to match the bay temps and we get up near 50, 55 degrees, then like everything's going to be
I would say, like, when people ask about the bridge, like, I think when the water...
Bridge, too.
That's what I'm saying, just from my experience in the just from walleye Pete, man. Like, when that water gets to about 50, 55 degrees, you're going to start seeing stripers show up in the deeper parts of the inlet and stuff.
Yeah, well, I know this is like either Maryland or Virginia. That's what I'm going to leave it to. But
you got to remember, man, the sun's strong this time of year, so the fish want to be up in shallow water. They don't want to be deep. They want to be shallow.
But that's a damn good session or a damn good day. A lot of fish.
Yeah, they're showing up, man.
It's not like they're...
You've gotten a lot of pictures, too, like, from people and, like, stuff showing up. Black drums. A lot of people have been asking me about the Assateague surf fishing scene. Like, well, if you want to go, it's time. Now's time. The stripers and the drum are showing up, and the reds will be, when the black drum and the stripers show up, The reds are about a month behind them, you know.
Yeah, and shout out Chris Taylor, Fish Assateague, Skylar Sneed, Steve Maddox, who else was in there? Tristan, all those guys in the pictures. You know, good work, guys, getting on them. They're always on them. They've been doing that.
Got a lot of questions coming in here. So, what pound leader do you use for yellowfins? Inshore, we downsize on our leader on the inside. When the bite's slow, I'll go down to as low as 80. I always have one rod when I'm trolling 80 pound.
For tournaments?
I use whatever. Usually I run 130 for tournaments. Whatever's legal in the tournament. Like a lot of tournaments you can, like their IGFA, you got to run 130 or less. But the ones that you can run more, like for trolling for tunas around here, like we really don't need anything higher than 130. In my opinion. I mean, I go through withdrawal too. Yeah, for tournaments. So tournaments, I don't think of. So the big thing with tournament fishing is you can't think of tournament fishing any differently than you think of it the other day of fishing. Like when you get to that level, that's when you know like you got a good shot at winning tournaments. You got to think of it as just another day of the office, another day of work. Like when you start over analyzing like leaders and stuff like that, like it'll get in your head, you know.
Yeah, it will. But it's good to see on the local fishing scene, you know, all the fish showing up. And we've been catching them, like Jeff said, behind the back here in the lower bay, northern Chincoteague Bay, southern Newport Bay, southern Sinnapuxent Bay.
I went out yesterday morning. I went out yesterday morning and burned them up. Like they were going crazy on top of the water, man. I put a surface plug on too late, like in the morning. I should have as soon as I saw the first one boil, I should have just put a plug on then. But I was like, I want to catch one. I like just catching them with my paddle. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it is sick.
I hate treble hooks. Like treble hooks bother me a lot, and that's why I'm not really amped on the surface plugs all the time.
Yeah. Trolling or jig? Yeah, I guess it does. If you're talking about leader, trolling and jigging's a little different.
80-pound jigging. It's 80 pound all around.
For yellowfin, 80 pounds probably good. You could probably
you don't need to downsize.
60,
you don't need to downsize if you're jigging too much. You know.
I hope this year. Well, we're gonna get into all that, but
like trolling gear is way bigger, so that's why we downsize.
Yeah.
You know, you got really thin braid on a line on a jigging setup.
And actually, all right, 18 people in here. If everybody get your guess in. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 11 guesses, and there's 18 people watching. So get your guess in if you haven't for the giveaway. RipCharts. We're about to go into some inshore structure.
I see somebody with the right guess though, which is cool.
Yeah, so someone did
got
nail
the
it.
right guess, so we don't have to play any games, which is cool.
Yeah. That is always nice, but yeah, this local fishery's turning on, and before we know it, we're gonna be out there looking for these tuna. You know, I saw someone mention bluefins.
Yeah, let's go into this a little bit. Like let's delve into stuff. So like this is kind of, I guess we should start talking about let's talk about what we first started. Bluefins, you know, but they're right inside the canyons. They're not like on the lumps inshore. Unless we get a piece of water that pushes in early in the year. Majority of our fishing takes place, if you could highlight the canyons up and down here, the whole way, up and down the East Coast, on the 100 line. So that's where we're fishing. We're looking for water that's pushing up against that 100 line there in the spring. We want to see, for yellowfin, for bluefin, like I said, 60. 60-degree water is what I want to see. I mean, there could be...
Honestly, I've heard there's a couple guys, it could be rumors, but I heard there's a couple guys going out to the canyons, and I don't know if it's Norfolk or if it's Wilmington. I don't know where or what, but I heard there was bluefins in the canyons right now.
There could be.
Within the last 5 days.
There's a piece of water that's sliding into the Wilmington that's mid-50s. Oops. There's the Wilmington. You were just right on it, right?
Yeah.
Some water sliding into the Wilmington right now. And that could definitely hold some. You pull RipCharts up to
that's what I was overlay just gonna say.
Overlay it. So this is a tool. Another way we use RipChart. Audio going in and out. We keep cutting in and out.
Audio. Let me see here. Should be fine. Check.
Maybe it's the volume or something. Do you have the volume?
You also might just have to hit refresh on YouTube.
Can't hear us. They can't hear us. Do we have to refresh maybe?
No, I don't think it's us. Oh, it's the audio.
They're all saying it though. More than one person saying it.
All right. Hold on. You're right.
We're working on it. It's been fine.
Second.
Someone says it's been fine for them. So that's weird.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit
Had to leave and come back.
YouTube.
They said.
Yeah.
Do you have to refresh maybe?
It seems like that fixed it. We exited. I think that's a YouTube problem,
Sound
unfortunately.
is good. Okay, we got a sound is good.
I think it's a YouTube problem, unfortunately.
So what I was saying is the 100 line is what we look for, where the fishing takes place in the spring, and what we're looking for bluefin. What I'm looking for bluefin is 60-degree water or higher. For yellowfin, I'm looking for 68-degree water in the spring. When I see 68-degree water, and the difference, the big difference besides that water temperature is you really want that blue water for the
Looks
elephants.
like a pretty good shot. Is that accurate?
What's that?
That looks like a pretty good shot. Is that accurate?
Yeah, there's some good shots recently. You really want to see that 68-degree blue water. I want to see blue water associate. Like when I look at the chlorophyll on RipCharts and I want to catch yellowfin, I want to see bluer water. I don't want to see for bluefin, it's not as important, but I do want to see, that it does have an association with the Gulf Stream. It is, cleaner in color, has a little bit of tint of blue into it. Hopefully, that's hopefully what you want to see. The eddies that I've gone to early in the year that are really dirty, not clean, but are warm, are not productive. I haven't had success with them. The water that seems to be productive early in the year has to have blue associated with it. So importantly, when you go on these missions early in the year, you don't want to just look at the water temperature. The water temperature was going to give you the best data of what's going on, like where you're going to see water, where the water's moving or whatever. But what it's not going to show you is the color. And sometimes you will get these upwellings that come off the Gulf Stream that it just sucks all that coastal water in from the Carolinas that's dirty and green, like off-colored green-brown. If you ever trolled in the Chesapeake Bay for stripers in the spring, it reminds me of that color, murky water. Like it looks dark and like not clean at all. Like very, very turbid. So put it on that side. Put that on that side. It's confusing the shit out of me anyway. So I want to see clean water in the spring. Every single eddy that I've caught fish in the spring has been in clean water. I've never caught in the eddies that are dirty. So once you see that 68-degree water in the spring, it's go time for us. I know maybe up north it may be a little different for you guys because like it seems like the fish are just like a month behind as far as migration. So like timing of the year may be important for you guys to keep in mind, as well as it is for us as well, but our timing is a little bit earlier. So I mean you guys probably want to see 68, if you guys see 68 early May, they may be up there. I'm sure it's definitely very possible, and I'm sure people have caught them up there in May. But like I would be more so keyed in on June. Like I want to see temperatures like that in June. Like that's early for you guys. So I'm thinking like May for us, like we start really looking for yellowfins in May, later in May really. And Memorial Day weekend historically has been hit or miss, but when we hit, we're knocking it out of the park, man. Like that's the time of year when these fish are like, they leave North Carolina. These yellowfin kind of do the same thing these giant bluefins do. They kind of stage up in North Carolina. And then, when we see that the yellowfin bite's good in North Carolina, it usually is a good indicator for us. Like, okay, we're going to have a good year. Like there's a bunch of them staging up there. So that's generally what I start keying in on in March, April. I start looking at North Carolina, their bite, what's been going on down there, the water, where they're catching these fish. And I want to see, I've talked to a couple guys now that have reached out to me and said that the yellowfin fishing this year, which I've predicted that is fire. They're saying it, a lot of yellowfins down there already this year, and that's pretty early. I mean, there's been years where they're here like this, but when they see numbers like this early in the year, that's usually a good sign for us. Every year we've seen them like that. They've come straight north, and they made it. We fished. They stayed in our canyons for a while, then they went north of us. We sometimes we'll get lucky and we'll get those whatever that bait that stays in the Washington to hang around. And some of those years we have just, lights out fishing in the Washington, man. Just like you guys have the Hudson. It's the Hudson to us. The Washington is our Hudson. Whatever. It's the topography of the bottom, I think, that does it to the Washington.
Why does this say 2015? I just noticed that.
I don't know.
I'm looking at how juicy this looks, and I'm like, there's no way this is...
Well, dude, pull up a new shot. It could be a mistake. He could have meant to put 2025 or something. I don't know. But I lost my train of thought. That's what I didn't want to do, Eeyore. God damn it.
Sorry.
So the springtime can be a really fun... it can be a really rewarding time of year to go out there and target these fish. It can also be a huge letdown because you guys got to remember, I'm highlighting these trips that I do good on. I'm not like blasting it out on Facebook or all these other avenues when I go out there and get skunked. I don't have anything to take a picture of except a sunset or a sunrise. So,
right.
Generally speaking, I'm not blasting out like, hey, went today, check that water out. Like I'll tell my friends or I'll make a post like, hey, went to that water and nothing. But I'm not gonna a lot of people aren't gonna see it. And that's the truth, man. Like I've gone out this time of year and gotten skunked as many times as I've gone out there and had really good trips. Because you gotta keep in mind, as much as the water looks beautiful, this is also a migrational, seasonal thing. These fish are migrating on the time of day. Like I feel like when they start feeling that sun staying up and staying stronger for longer each day, that is what triggers their migration, not our daily temperatures of, it's going to be 70 degrees today. It's going to be 40 degrees tomorrow. It's going to cool the water down. Like no, you still have a lot stronger UV in the spring than you do in the fall. So it's going to heat that top layer of water. You can even see it on a microcosm or micro scale in back bay fishing. Like when you go to a back bay area and watch that sun throughout the day, heat that, you can see 15, 20 degree temperature swings when we have a really high UV index that day. Really big temperature swings in flats like that. So the same thing happens on a big scale offshore. Things don't happen as quick, but the same things are happening, and these fish know that. So these fish know when the sun gets up longer, the temperature doesn't matter as much. The ambient temperature or the water temperature doesn't matter as much. The coastal water temperature doesn't matter as much, I should say, because the sun is heating it so much. So either way, if anyone's ever gone offshore in the spring and pays attention to their water temperatures, you run out in the morning and the hot dog, you're running through the canyons, the lumps on the way out, and they're all mid 50s going out. And then you come back in and on the way in, they're all 63, 64 degrees. You'll see 8, 9 degrees in June some days when you got a really flat, calm, no wind. You'll see big swings in the spring and early summer of temperatures in the water because the sun is heating it up so much. So I think that tuna know that, and it's a migrational thing. So that's my point. It's as many times as I've gone out there and not got skunked. I've gotten skunked. I've also caught. It's been a 50-50 thing this time of year. You can have the best. I've had water that looks phenomenal, and it's just too early in the year, And the bluefin are already past us. The years where I've had, I've went out and looked. I like to start looking for water when it's in the mid 60s, and gone out in the mid 60s and nothing. And you look up to the north in Jersey, New York, and they're smoking the bluefins in 58 degree water, 60 degree water on an eddy that is north of us. That's cooler, greener, and not as good looking, but the fish are up in it, So it's a lot. It's a hit or miss. But that's what makes it exciting for me. I love adventures. I love, trying to go out there and find fish and not, wait for a report. I hate that. If you guys know me, if anybody knows me on here, like, I am not the dude that's going to sit and wait for a report to come to me and be hand delivered, be like, okay, Jeff, this is when, where, why, what you should fish. Like, I'm going to go out there. I know fish are creatures of habit. That's why keeping a logbook so important. I know fish are creatures of habit, man. They're going to do the same, like us people. We're very predictable. Like, they're going to do the same things that year after year. Yeah, they may change where they're going a little bit, but because the bait's not there, whatever. But these fish are going to show up the same times a year they do in the same places they do historically. It may not be every year they're showing up in the same place, but they're going to show up at the hot dog again. I don't know when. They're going to show up, at the, the 12 again. I know that for a fact. I don't know when. But let's just know that these fish are creatures of habit and they just repeat. History repeats itself. Those are two things that I keep in mind when I'm fishing. Not only with people and us, but fish as well. Fish repeat themselves. They do the same stuff year after year.
And someone mentioned Helmlink. Let's hear it. Well, Helmlink is going to be awesome. We're going to be talking more about them in the future. But, yeah, basically what we're looking at now, you'll be able to have that on your chart plotter, fish finder, and they got a lot of big stuff coming, and we'll be talking about that more in the near future. But Helmlink's pretty cool. If you've seen him on Facebook or
he's already got tremendous amount of sales. So like we're trying to keep it like not down low, but like just
we're working on it. We're gonna make an announcement and stuff about that in the future.
Yeah, Lee will tell me when he's ready for us to announce to you guys all this stuff. But yeah, we're in the works.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be an option for everybody, so it'll be cool. So,
be a little bit of a game changer. It'll be pretty sick to have. Like, we've had the Starlink and stuff, so we've been able to use a lot of tools on the water, but having it overlaid on your chart plotter, like,
while you're fishing, it's a game changer, man. Like, the problem with your phone, you want to use your phone for what the purpose is out there. Like, keep it charged up and, you know what I mean? Not wasting battery, you know what I mean?
Emergency, basically, like.
And like it's just nice to have all your stuff on your screen in front of you, man. Like, I don't know, that's what's exciting to me about it. But yeah, I'm super excited for this season. So yeah, we start really looking for yellowfin here, like I would say mid-May. But like I've caught yellowfin as early as the end of April here. This is the latest I've caught yellowfin is April 30th.
The earliest, you mean?
Yeah, the earliest. I'm sorry. The earliest I've caught yellowfin is April 30th. On a band of blue 66-degree water that came into the poor man's. I remember Wrecker was out there with us. It was like us, Wrecker, and then I forgot who else went. But for whatever reason, there was a couple boats out there, which is unusual for people to be ready to rock by end of April. But Wrecker got them too. They got bluefins and yellowfins that day. I remember clearly, vividly. So the bluefins were mixed in with the yellowfins that year. It was pretty cool. I remember that. But like I haven't seen that very much recently. A couple years ago, I did get whacked by like we were getting hit by some yellowfins in the poor man's, and then we made another pass back around and we get whacked by two like 80-pound bluefins. It's pretty cool. But like that kind of stuff, like I haven't seen like the mixing of those tunas like I used to recently. Like you got up north, like they've one of our subscribers was telling me about it. Like they get bluefin. We get those giant bluefins, but they get the bluefins like year round, man. Up there.
When you're fishing for early season bluefin, do you run your baits way back as you would inshore, or not necessarily?
I don't run my after this winter. I've learned from Phil, like you don't need to run your baits that far back ever for bluefin. They'll bite it. If they're there, they'll bite it. I mean, the only time I would recommend running your stuff far back is if you have to, for some reason, troll around a lot of boats. Like, you drop your stuff back because it's probably pressure. They're probably going to be lower in the water column. Probably want to drop that bait or run maybe a heavier bait, but I wouldn't go, like, too far back because then you got to worry about your shit getting run over.
I mean, you can just go a little further back than you normally would and, like, you're good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... Some people do take it like to another extreme, or they hear like way back and they think they gotta.
I mean, the first bluefin I caught last summer was in July, And that first bluefin, I told Alex, I was like, dude, I don't even care about any of the rods you got out. I'm like, I only one I'm watching is that way back. I'm like, I'm whatever. He's like, oh, whatever. I'm gonna put the whole spread out. I was like, that's fine. So he puts our whole normal yellowfin spread out, and the rod that gets freaking hit is the 353 spreader bar that's like right behind the boat. I was freaking shocked. I didn't know they were bluefin at first. I was like, it's probably a big yellowfin, you know, but it was a bluefin. But they hit close to the boat. I mean, I think when they're there and you mark them on your depth finder, like you see arches on your screen. If you see arches on your screen and you don't get a bite, I mean, maybe go drop it further back. But if you don't see those, I don't know. I just think that you don't need to have your stuff that super far back. If they're gonna eat it, they're gonna eat it. They'll come to the they'll track the bait down and hit it if they want it.
Yeah, Dennis said my first trip last year was May. I believe that it was around the 20. There was a piece of water that came up on the wall, and we said let's give it a shot. I ran to Beach, and we had 6 yellow, 2 eyeballs, landed 1.
That's so sick, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. You never know. I mean,
you know what's so cool about up there in the Northeast, like not past, like east of the Hudson, way east of the fishtails, all that. Beach, all that, Atlantis, all those canyons out there, they don't get hit by the pressure that the Hudson and the Wilmington and the Baltimore and the Washington get hit with, and the Norfolk, because there's not as many people that run that far. So it makes the fishing tremendous. I mean, that's why we see all these videos, these reels that we all watch, and on these crazy places that are exotic, and they're just smoking tunas, like they're blowing up on the surface everywhere and stuff. I mean, boat pressure definitely affects fishing.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why you guys get those eddies are different, but I feel like when you guys do get those eddies, you just have that. We have good fishing when we get those eddies, great fishing, but you guys have that off the fucking walls chain fishing where it's just like, I mean, my buddy went up there, Yanni went up there last year and had like 13 big eyes in like 50 minutes, less than an hour, 13 big eyes. And as many yellowfins as you wanted. They went way east, like Atlantis out there. But it was insane. I mean, it is insane.
Chunky Father said, hello, gents. Hope all is well. Jersey Giants are already showing up. I don't know if he meant, I'm thinking he meant tuna. But,
probably, yeah.
But it also could be striker, but I think he meant tuna.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely assume tuna. Yeah, I believe it, man. I mean, there's no reason why these fish won't start leaving. There's been plenty of years where I can recall boats leaving North Carolina to come back home to Jersey and getting hit on the way home. A lot of times they'll troll the 100 line the way up until they get up, past Maryland and up into Jersey, and they'll
Same with boats coming from North Carolina back to Ocean City, like coming from OBX or Hatteras or wherever, or Morehead City up to Ocean City. They'll troll up, the 100 line or the,
Yeah, plenty of seasons. I remember the commercial guys were already out there this time of year getting them, but it's not like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like when you get the eddies and you get the pieces of water, it gives you a much better place to start in the spring. For us, the people that are seasonal, I'm out there almost a lot of the time in the summer, but I'm not out there a lot of time in the winter. These commercial guys they're out there
year round,
so
much.
They know what's going on. They know where these fish are, but it's hard for us to pinpoint that if we're going off of what we have. So that's why I wait for water to come, because then I know that the fish are going to be confined to a space, generally speaking. But yeah, I don't doubt that they're not showing up.
No, I think they are, and it's neat here looking, at this. This isn't a recent accurate shot. This is from the 25th, which was yesterday at 10 p.m. And you can see just how the water moves around the canyons. It's still cold here, but
look how that looks like it's going into the Washington right there. You don't even have it up, and I can tell.
Yeah,
look at it. Yep. See how it's following the contour into the Washington and into the Wilmington. The cold water is.
Yep, it's pretty. It's just neat though. These are tools we'll be able to use. you all be able to use.
So something I wanted to highlight is what I was nerding out last night. Is I was comparing this year the Gulfstream's location to the Gulfstream's location last year, this time, and I could tell you that the Gulfstream was going way further north this time last year than it was this year. It was up here. Highlight that. Gulfstream was up here last year.
Up here. See, because this is better. Because if they start to spin, if this trend continues,
that's
and
why I'm thinking we're gonna have good
here. They'll dump into the Wilmington and trickle down, and we'll get all the good fishing in our canyons. Dude, that's what we want.
When we get these situations that happen, we usually have good fishing in the Mid-Atlantic. Now, you guys may be drooling up to the north for us this year. It may be a little slower for you guys. I'm just predicting that it may be a little slower. It may not be. Here, I'm saying this now, it'll probably be lights out again up there and shitty down here.
Yeah, well, you never know, but we're hoping. And
I'm predicting that the Mid-Atlantic is going to be a little bit better this year. I'm predicting it's going to be better down here this year than it is up there.
Dennis, I lost a sea monster bluefin last year, July 5th, trolling. I threw a Joe shoot with round Z-tail 12 feet behind the boat. And then C Good said, where would you guess those Jersey tuna are based on your rip chart?
The Wilmington?
I would guess from
the 500 fathoms in the Wilmington.
Right here, right?
Right there, yep.
Or all the way out here, that's far.
No.
Yeah, probably in here is your...
Yeah, that where you just pointed to is a fucking haul and a half. I mean, you're talking there. 160 miles.
Oh, yeah.
150 miles, for sure.
Way far. But in here, you could probably maybe pick something off.
That's where I would say, he asked me a question, I'm giving him my answer. My answer is 500 fathoms Wilmington Canyon right now. Is where I would, if I had to tuna fish tomorrow, that's where I would start.
There also might be people fishing out here off this piece or keeping an eye on that water.
I don't know. I think
like these guys from Massachusetts. I mean,
I don't think that. I think it's too early right now up there.
It is. Yeah. It's still early, but they're probably keeping an eye on this, waiting for something to peel off.
There could. I mean, that's a gigantic eddy. I mean, there could be some water fish in that. I would not bet against there being fish in that, just based on the.
Yeah.
So that if that's the case, then this year this eddy doesn't get reabsorbed by the Gulfstream. If you point to that one, that's behind that SST overlay. Like if you guys, that eddy should stay move to the north to the west. So it should come towards the Hudson, and if it does, then you guys may have another sick year.
But all this in here could fan out into some of these canyons up here. And could be holding.
Well, what could happen? What they gotta hope is that we get some southerly winds. Now, if they keep getting this northerly current, it's gonna block.
They gotta hope for southerly, but we want the northerly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we want the.
It's like us versus them, really, kind of, because like you guys are really hoping for the southerlies, and we really want the northerlies because it keeps that water down here.
Yeah, but it's looking like I think you're right. I mean. I'm just getting back into and just starting to look at all this extra data on top of everything else with offshore and canyons and
you're getting pretty good at it.
But just based off what you've told me, I can see what you're saying, and I remember how looking at it this time last year, it did. The Gulf Stream.
Dude, it had like the Gulf Stream was like way further up, and it had so many filaments of warm water already breaking off right here to us. I mean, it's a good sign when our canyons are still cold right now. Like up north, see how it's up cold? Canyons are still really cold. Like that's all that Labrador current just sitting there still.
Look how cold it is up in here.
Yeah, freezing. Like, and I'll follow this stuff. Then I follow that line, and I'm like, that's definitely like a cold current of water. So that's a boundary of cold current water. Like you can see that current is riding north to south, and it's coming from the northeast and going southwest.
And while we got a lot of people in here, guys, just a reminder, get your guess in for the giveaway. We're giving away 1 free year subscription, premium RipCharts, what we're using now. How many times I said juicy, feisty, or let's go in the last YouTube video. You had to have already watched it pretty much to participate or guess, or you can just guess a random number, but only one guess. If you already guessed earlier, you're already good. You're counted. This is pretty much the last shot here. I'm going to announce the winner the next time we bring this up. So just a reminder why there's a good number of you guys in here. get your guess in now if you haven't already. You only get one guess.
So I wanted to tell you guys before I lose my train of thought, because I'm notorious for
going,
that.
Sorry.
Importantly, as looking at the warm water currents, you want to keep your eye on the cold water currents, because how the cold water current interacts with the warm current water is what creates these eddies and the spin in them. And that's really what you got to look. You can't just look at the warm water all the time. You got to look at the cold water and see what it's doing as well. Because a lot of time you'll think that warm water is moving in, but it's actually cold water pushing up into warm water and making it appear as an eddy forming, but it's really just cold water pushing into that warm Gulf Stream water that's just pushing it off of the line away from the continental shelf. And what we really want to see, when I really want to see, is water that is favorably moving in the direction of the continental shelf. When we have water that's moving towards the continental shelf, not getting pulled away from the continental shelf, even if the water at one point was on the 100 line and is now getting pulled off, you'll see fishing slow down. You want to see that water up on the 100 line or favorably moving in that direction. That's when I see my best fishing in the spring. When you have that water, it's moving towards you, not moving away from you. And in simpler terms.
My immediate thought, like as a rookie or whatever, I'm just thinking this Labrador current here, we want this to be strong with northerly winds and push this Gulf Stream 100%. And everything down and force and jam it down so that it splits right here.
You got it.
Some stuff goes into our canyons. And then the other stuff rolls around over here and maybe goes into their canyons.
Dude, you got it. That's what we want to see in our area. And what you guys want to see to the north is when we get these a weaker Labrador current. And the Gulf Stream, what happens then is the Gulf Stream will push north, way, way further north. And you'll get these really strong Gulf Stream eddies that get spun off because the Gulf Stream has to start going back to the east because of the depth. It turns with the depth. So that's why you guys, when you get those south winds up there, man, it just keeps that Gulf Stream riding south to north, and it just wants to smash into the Hudson Canyon, that Long Island, what should I call that, Martha's Vineyard area, that whole shelf area up there to the north. That is kind of like the Massachusetts, shelf, so to speak. It goes, follows the contour of Massachusetts, so to speak. So that's what you guys want to see in the north. We really don't want to see that. We want to see the Labrador current really, really coming down hard and staying prevalent through this time of year. So you really get that cold water button up against that warmer water. That, these breaks up here, like that break right there is like, if you saw that on the 100 line, I'd be like, it's go time, let's go.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're not going to get those in the years where we get those winters where we get those mild. Yeah, fishing's good in the winter. Yeah, we get the better fishing in the wintertime. The fish hang around longer. The fish are more eager and active, more eager to bite and more active. But they don't hang around when the water temperature warms up. As soon as the water temperature starts warming up, these fish are moving. When we have these mild winters. When we have these really cold winters, these fish don't do that. They don't move they stay where they are in the winter. So they don't migrate as much. It's not a sporadic migration. It's a really like, all right, they're marching orders, let's all go, and they all roll. Mass exodus.
And Dennis, I'm highlighting it right now. This is Ocean City, just about right here. That's where we run out of. He was wondering. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's.
Yeah, you were about right. Yeah, little south of that.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. Yep, right there. Yep, that's where we run out of. So we're compared to the other locations, the inlets on the East Coast. We're one of the closer inlets. When you get above North Carolina, we're probably the closest inlet to the canyons, to a majority of the canyons in the Mid-Atlantic, because you get down to Watchapre,
Chincoteague, Ocean City.
Ocean City shits on Indian River. Yeah, because Indian River, the coast starts to really cut back in, and you really start to get way further away from stuff.
It just seems like you have the most convenient, more options from Ocean City. Like Chincoteague, you got a far run to the Wilmington or the Baltimore. Indian River, you got a far run to the Washington or the Norfolk. Ocean City, it's kind of evenly spread. You can get to the Poor Man's the quickest, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we can run like everyone can run to like the Lindenkuhl, you know. We can run to the Spencer, you know. We can run up there even from.
And you can
it's
run
only
down to the Norfolk.
I think to the Lindenkuhl or to the Spencer, we're only but we're only 88 miles. 88 miles, I think. Which I mean, a lot of those guys to the north of us, that's a normal run to them is 88 miles. Which to us, we're like, holy shit, we're making a run today, you know. Like that's a long way for us to go. Like when we're normal runs are 40 to 60, you know, when you got to run 80, it's a haul.
Yeah, I mean, like, we had that one trip for the big eyes. We left Chincoteague Inlet and went to the Wilmington, which was like 90 miles one way or something, or it was a haul.
It was over 100 to the marina, remember?
Yeah.
To the inlet.
Where we were keeping the boat at the time. We left out of Chincoteague Inlet and we came back through Ocean City, and we came back late at night. I mean, we caught those big eyes, and it was like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., and, you know, we had them in within an hour or the one. And
get them straight up and down, crank the drag up.
It was flat calm, and we were running hauling ass home, flat calm, like beautiful ride home. But all round trip, it was like probably 150 miles, dude, or more.
I mean, round trip?
Maybe 200.
Dude, round trip, I think we were like 250, man.
Coming back, we came through Ocean City, and then we had to go all the way down to Greenbackville, which is like, you know, past Newport Bay, past Verrazano, past Public Landing, past Snow Hill, down into the Virginia line, just over the Virginia line. So
it was a haul.
It was a fun adventure, though. Yeah. I mean, it was cool. But
makes it worth it when you come back with a fish, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But it's going to be awesome having the boat at Sunset this year.
It's going to be a game changer,
right there. From the start of the season too, it's just it's
awesome. But we're blessed, like from the standpoint of like I forgot who said this. I was on a podcast, but like somebody said like the further north you go, the crazier people are because you guys have to run so much further. Like that's how much wilder you are about fishing than. Like, the further south you go, the more lax people are about fishing. They're like, you know, you get down to the Keys, people are like, oh, let's get up when we get up. We'll get up when we get up, and we'll fish when we decide to fish, you know? And, like, the further north you go, people are like, fucking leave at 1 a.m., you know?
Yeah, or whatever.
Yeah, like, we're leaving at midnight. It's like, well, don't you want to be there in the morning? It's like, yeah, well, we want to be there before the morning, you know?
Yeah, the Northeast, I feel like, does get amped up, and, like, we're just used to those long rides and those long hauls to find the fish and find the water. And I think that's part of, I mean, it depends who you are and how hard you want to go and, you know, what your comforts and price range and all that is. But I feel like the center console, I love that the Sea Hunter can haul ass and get us places like,
I know, I was talking to some guy at the marina the other day, and he's like, every ride, he was on an ocean yacht. He's like, every ride, I just consider it 3 hours. And I'm like, not me. I'm like, hour and a half for me, man. Like, if I can't go 25 knots, I'm not going.
Right.
Like, I can't. It's hard for me now to take so long to fish. You know, I gotta be. I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm covering ground when I'm going below 25 knots. 24 is like, I don't know. And the Sea Hunter pretty much will go 22 knots. The Sea Hunter will go 22 knots through pretty much anything.
Anything. Yeah.
So
I mean, at that speed.
Yeah. But you got like that's like feels so slow, man.
But dude, I mean, some of those days when we had like good conditions, we were rolling like literally 36, 38 knots. Like,
oh yeah, I mean,
rolling, dude.
When we fished the White Marlin this year, I was just gunning it on the way in, and we were doing like 48 knots on the way in.
Yeah, like it goes pretty quick.
I mean, I remember like coming. Alex got a video he showed me the other day. The Sea Hunter coming in. We were coming in from the White Marlin, and it was pretty rough out. And the guys were sleeping in the back, and I was flying, dude. Like, I think it said 42 knots, and the boat went airborne, and everybody just stayed asleep. Nobody even woke up on the boat. It was so.
That's when you know
it was
you're
such
tired.
it shot water like 1,000 feet in the air. It was so sick.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, Dennis said, Can you make the Hudson? That's a run. The Hudson.
Yeah, we can. There's people that leave out Ocean City all the time to go to the Hudson. Yeah, I mean, when you guys have like those sport fishers have plenty of fuel. They do it all the time, man. They'll leave out at, like a couple years ago when you guys had that really, really, really good fall yellowfin bite, and we had nothing in the fall. A couple boats were leaving from Sunset and running up to the Hudson and coming back that same day, same night.
He said Mauritius to Beach is 120 miles one way for me. I leave Friday at 3 o'clock for Canyon and come home Sunday, 3 p.m. after work.
See, that's crazy. Like that, even here in the Mid-Atlantic, we would all be like, I mean, we do that. We'll do overnighters, but we don't do two-nighters. You know?
No, rarely. I mean, there's a couple boats you might be able to pay to do like the 48 hours.
The Huck is pretty close. Like we have a tournament down here that's 36 hours straight, and that's pretty close. And I mean that tournament, I'll tell you what, when it's slow fishing, it's hard. It's a hard tournament. But like when it's good fishing, it's so awesome. You're like, yes, we're out here, you know. Like,
or I meant that's as gnarly as it gets as far as like people doing anything close to a 2 or 3 nighter or something.
And a lot of the guys that fish like just the marlin Calcuttas, they come in at night. All the people out there at night are the tuna fishermen.
And no, we don't use a fuel bladder. We don't need to go that far. That like the Sea Hunter holds a lot of fuel. What's it hold? I mean,
420 gallons.
Yeah, so we're not going anywhere that's going to burn more than that.
No, I get like 1 point when I'm hauling ass. I get like I'm
maybe
going 32 knots. I get 1.1, 1.0, 1.1.
Yeah, I mean I've seen it even like
when I'm going slow 28. If I go 28 knots, I get 1.3, 1.4.
I've seen us hauling ass and only burning like 0.9 or like 0.8 maybe. And we're hauling ass and chop like. It's impressive sometimes. I mean, and there's other times too where I've seen it where 3,500 RPMs.
Me, you, and Phil were coming in from the 12 this year, and we got behind the Rochambeau because it was rough as piss, and we get behind them, and I looked over at the guys, and I was like, "You guys care if I pass them?" I'm like, "This is like really slow."
Yeah.
And you guys were like, "I don't give a shit." Dude, we passed Rochambeau, dude. He sped up, tried to race us in, and he couldn't keep up with me, man.
Yeah, once we got close to the beach in the inlet, and it the chop was a little, less, not as bad from, it was shallower and the wind blocked, blah, blah, blah. But we dusted them then. We were making way, like slowly gaining a lead on them, even in the heavy chop.
Yeah, in the heavy chop, we were pulling away from them. Like it was, when I say heavy chop, it was nautical, man.
I mean, 4 to 6 footers probably, for sure. But we were running with it, I think.
We were running into them, so my boat, Sea Hunter got on top of them. That's why Remo was like, dude, the 37 is what you need. Like the 30, he's been on 35s. Like they don't stay on top of the ocean like a 37-foot boat. Like they always say the best, like the bay size is like 24 foot or bigger. Like ocean's like 36, or I think it's 36 foot or bigger. Like it wants to stay on top.
There's some yellowfin front runners, but Sea Hunter, they got the 35, the 37, the 39 is probably
the 37 they don't make anymore, but the 39 is what took it over. It's the same hull design.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the 35 now and the 39.
But dude, those Sea Hunters, man, if you guys want a rough ride in center console, man, woo! That boat, it's not the fastest boat when it's calm. It's the fastest boat when it's rough.
I mean, even when it's calm, it's fast. But
if you want a fast boat, you get a contender, man, like a contender or something. Like that's not this boat is heavy. They're heavy.
Or CVs.
CVs are heavy. CVs are heavy. They're really heavy. Yeah. They're like Sea Hunters. CVs are like Sea Hunters.
Invincibles are lighter, but they slap.
Yeah, and they delaminate. I've heard that from a couple people that they delaminate.
Front runners super expensive, but they're supposed to be nice. Same with yellowfin.
I've looked at them all, man. I love the yellowfins are nice. I like the Sea Hunters the best.
Sea Hunter, yeah.
But I'm biased now. But even before I bought them all, I was like, based on all about everybody, what they said on the haul truth and everything, I mean, I just think Sea Hunters, they bride the best in the shit.
And even before you were even thinking about getting one, like I've always watched videos and seen I'm drawing a blank. I know the guy Eddie, but there's another guy that like had to do with Sea Hunter and founding it, but that was like a real big fisherman with like flip pallet and I'll think of his name. But anyways, I've always been a fan of the Sea Hunters, and they are sick boats. And even since Remo got his, like I just remember seeing it around, and my cousin.
I just don't ever remember being on center consoles. I've been on a lot of different center consoles, and I don't ever remember being on one
that feels
that
like
just
that.
eats like you when you hit a wave. Like a lot of people on my boat will be like, but then they're like, what? Like they wait for it, but it never slaps. It just wants to cut through everything. It's badass. I mean, if you trim like I said, if you trim my boat all the way down, so the front end doesn't want to come up, it will go 22 knots through anything. Anything.
The only thing I can compare it to is like the first time you get in a nice car like a BMW or Mercedes and you feel that, or like a Land Rover, and you feel that difference of how they drive and ride. That's kind of the feeling it reminds me of going from like even a Carolina Skiff or a Boston Whaler or a Parker.
God, man.
Like someone said regulator. I know regulators are nice. If you're going to go production, that's probably like the best boat there is.
They're nice,
like,
but they're not. They don't ride
semi-custom or
they
production.
Still don't ride like a Sea Hunter.
But
Regulator.
it's just not the same as. And all those boats we named. I mean, someone else said Freeman. Of course, Catamaran.
Oh, Freeman.
Going in a whole different division.
Okay, well, Sea Hunter makes a catamaran too,
so
but Freeman's are badass. Like Freeman's are retarded, ridiculous,
they're
amazing.
Nice. But the Sea Hunter cat
if I was
gonna
get
badass too.
Oh my god,
Sea Hunter cat goes toe to toe with the Freeman. They have
all
a 42 or 41 CTS.
And I just think the Sea Hunters look better. Like they're better looking boats than the Freemans, if I'm being honest. Like they're more sleek looking.
Yeah, so he said, I'd like to see the Freeman compared to the Sea Hunter in real soppy seas or soppy shit. I'd rather be in a heavier boat, Dennis said.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I know the Freeman can handle some rough seas too. I've seen it. Worst case.
So, like, what I've heard, like, I will say that my buddy's got a...
Sideways
my friend Justin's got a 42 Freeman. And he's told me, when we were in the White Marlin, he fished it too. And that last day, it was really rough. And he couldn't go as fast as I was going in my monohull. Just the way the chop was that day, it was like
There's different variables with catamarans.
There is,
sure.
but up most seas
Especially
they do ride better than the monohull for sure.
Well, and I feel like on those days when it's like not actually that bad, just a little bit of chop, the Sea Hunter does great. But the catamarans really excel in those days. Like
you don't feel anything.
You don't feel anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Sea Hunter's just as good in my opinion. Like, we're cooking along and riding fine,
I mean,
Anyways.
dude, I've never been on people like Dennis said he wants to be on a heavier boat. Like, if you got on my boat, you'd be like, this boat rides like a sport fisher. It doesn't feel like a center console.
Yeah, and everybody has their personal preferences. Like, there's just those catamaran people out there, and I get it, but I kind of like the monohull myself.
We had a boat like maybe 10 years ago in the White Marlin flip over in a catamaran in the tournament and die. And like, that's what scared me. I know that they've come a long way and like they've got very, very hard to flip. Like, they're really hard to flip now, but that's always what scares me about going, being in the trough and being in really heavy seas in the trough in a dual hull boat. Or a catamaran and flipping, being flipped over.
Yeah, I mean, that's something else to take into consideration. But Sea Hunter, again, a safe boat. They've, they have their videos.
Dude, there's
online
a video of the one crashing into the bridge, going full speed down in the Keys, and like it literally looks like nothing happened to the boat. I mean, I was like,
it's crazy
what
how durable they are.
Like, yeah, dude.
They have that video online where they drop it from a crane and cut the front off, and then they go drive it around. And
it's insane, man. They shoot it with a gun, But
Freeman Excel drifting. That's it. Yeah, I guess they would drift good, catching all that, broadside of a barn, like wind and current, just catching the catamaran.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never even thought about it, but that makes sense.
They were arguing about how far spots are, but whatever. We don't.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go ahead too. There's 27 people in here. If you got your guess in, good. But I'm gonna look through one more time and double check the guesses. Make sure nobody guessed twice or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure only one person nailed it. And like Jeff said in the video, we counted from the start to the finish of the video. Every time I said it, not Jeff, but I did. And we counted it. Hunting Fields was close. Derek was close. Mikey was close. Caden was close. As of right now, Dennis Tuna Slayer nailed it. He said 18. I watched the video 3 times. That's the number. That's the number I got too. Frozen Jam. Let's see. He said.
So 18. He does it very Eeyore like.
He said 6.
And the winner is 18.
Frozen Jam said. His looked close to 6 feisty, 4 juicy, 9 let's go, 2
That's
let's
19.
get it. He said 19. It's close, but we're going with 18.
18 is
that
what we came up with.
Decided to
we
go
both
with.
We both came up with 18. We both watched the video, and we both came up with 18.
So it looks like Dennis.
Dennis is the winner. Dennis, we'll have Taylor get a hold of you after this video. How did we do it last time? I forgot.
Whatever's easiest for you, Dennis. It can be Instagram or email if you want to email alwaysbentfishing@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's how we did it last time. Dennis, email alwaysbentfishing.com for
at
us.
gmail.com.
Oh, sorry, yes.
alwaysbentfishing@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And then while I have you guys here also, I just want to remind you guys, April 1st, for anyone that's a member, you guys will have discounts on the tackle, but anyone, you don't have to be a member. If you just go to our website, not right this second, but starting April 1st, it'll be live, and we're going to have tackle on the website for this offshore season coming up. We're going to have all the stuff we use, all the best stuff.
As soon as we get these squids in, too, we're going to make some bunch of chains and some spreader bars, and we're going to put our own spreader bars and daisy chains on here in custom squid colors, that the colors, they look like the color of squid. How about that?
Yeah.
They're not all these wacky, crazy shit colors. I'm not saying they don't work, but I love realistic looking bait. I think things that look real get eaten more frequently than things that don't look real, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the 7-inch bird chain, and these look phenomenal. I mean, we've used Knockdown before; they're great. I just feel like his stuff's really durable, really well built.
I'll tell you, Andrew takes a lot of pride in everything he builds. He's a younger guy, so he doesn't do this to make a ton of money. He does this because he loves to do it.
Yeah, passion.
So he takes a lot of pride and a lot of workmanship on everything he sends out.
And he puts thought into the colors he's using and patterns, and he played a role and helped us with our squids, our custom squids we got. And it's just cool. You can tell he's like us. He cares about what it looks like, and the colors he's using, the patterns he's using, and that's he's a small local business, young guy. It's that's what we want to work with. That's what we want to use. That's everything we're about. And if you guys want to also support us and support
honestly,
him,
his stuff's very reasonably priced.
It is, yeah. It's these. I mean, you guys see the prices here. These are what it's gonna be. And here's the 36-inch spreader bar. I mean, they look great.
Yeah.
Even the colors he has. But then we're gonna also have some limited edition. We have a certain amount. We could or may order or have more made, but we got a certain amount.
I feel like no one's wants them yet. So, we have people my friends that have said, yes, we do once we built them, but we haven't had anybody on the internet say, hey, we want to order this many. But I feel like once we get those spreader bars made,
and you're catching fish on them,
and we're looking at them, and you're just looking at them dude, they're going to look so good, man.
Well, the ones that we're going to have built with our custom squid colors we had made, there'll be a limited number of them available to the public and to members first, then the public, and it's just gonna be cool. It's gonna be neat.
Excited,
it'll be
man.
like a limited
April 1st,
run thing.
We're doing it's gonna be a soft launch. We're not gonna have everything, but we're gonna have we should have our squid on there, our spreader bars on there. Should be able to get up with Shannon here at 353 soon. She's been on all those shows and have her stuff on there.
Yeah, she's been busy with boat show season, but yeah, these are our colors, or that's the pictures cut off a little bit, but they're gonna be sick, and that's based off what worked best for us last year between this cotton candy-ish color. I call this Wonder Bread, but it's a natural pattern. I mean, they all are so good. These look more like
these
bunker
are all
or
made
squid,
off of real color squids. These are all the colors that squids
they're
you
great.
See them turn,
and you don't see them anywhere.
Yeah.
Go online and try and find
you won't find those colors
different
anywhere,
colored squids for if you want to switch up your spreader bars or your chains or whatever, and you want some different colors. it is hard to find, a lot of, and this isn't a knock, no pun intended, or anything against knockdown. Obviously, we carry and use them, and they're awesome. But those colors that he has is pretty much industry standard. Yeah. Like, that's pretty much what everyone carries. And you can go to, like, Squid Nation, Sterling, like, whoever, Magic Tail, and, you might find some variation.
Well, even all those, they're all retailers, but, like, even all the manufacturers, like, if you go to manufacturers, like, you're going to have to get them custom made. Like, they don't have...
Like, even this color is kind of like, you don't see that one very often, the purple and pink like that.
You don't.
Like, he has a few, Knockdown has a few that he had made probably for himself. And, like, this Rasta's pretty cool with the green machine bar there, but...
He had the one made off of us last year, too, that color.
Yep. Yeah. And this one's good.
I don't know where it is, but yeah, man, we're excited about it. The tuna season is quickly approaching. Does everybody got their boat work done? Everybody not have their boat work done? Is anybody behind? Anybody ready to go? Is anybody ready to run right now?
Luke C., you were a little late, buddy.
What do you
Sorry,
say?
Man. Well, he put 18 there at the last minute, but we already announced the winner.
Damn, man.
Dennis doesn't know math.
What did Dennis say?
Sorry, man. No, I think someone misread a comment or something when he was talking about how far a run it was for him.
Gotcha.
They were like, it's not that far, blah, blah, blah. But it's not that big a deal, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean City's definitely the closest.
How many rods are you trolling for yellowfins, and what's your leader poundage?
For yellowfins, we're trolling 11. 11 rods. Sometimes when it's nice, I'll troll 13. But when it's rough, I'll do 11 or less.
If you aren't getting bites, do you fire out light or leader? Do you put fluoro on bar stingers?
Yes. We re-rig all of every spreader bar that I own is re-rigged with fluoro stingers.
Actually, Knockdown might have fluoro stingers that come like that standard.
And it's not so much like I feel like they can see them. It's just like fluoro's thinner and it's more rigid.
And it sinks or
so when they if they do eat it the wrong way and it's rubbing up against their teeth, it's not gonna chafe as quickly as mono will, which is the big advantage of fluoro.
Yeah. And all right.
You got any more questions?
Ethan Close. Anthony, you're right. I made a mistake. It's 148 and 120 to West Atlantis. But that's it's not a big deal. I mean, we're just ballparking here. We were just saying how Ocean City is the closest, we feel out of any river.
But they're saying 120, 140
They're talking about stuff way up north,
But that's what I was saying. Like, up there, they're more
hardcore. Yeah, they're going even crazier distances than we are down here. That's all we were saying. Exactly. But this one looks great too.
That's the one he had made after us.
For us, yeah exactly. That's
I have that color.
We used it and it worked well last year. This one and that one.
It was a little different. Ours was a little purpler. It looked more like the one I had made this year.
And then the Rasta, that one's cool. Or I think he calls it zucchini. That purple and gray is good. Dude. But they look great. I'm excited, man.
Last year, my Phil. We went out, we were fishing at the Hot Dog, and it was a big, what's it called, green stick bite. They weren't really hitting much but the green sticks. So Phil rigged a dangler off of a spreader bar, and it worked. So we took one of those heavy, they call them whale bars, like down in North Carolina. They're those huge bars with like the huge bird on the front. They're really heavy, but they work. I forgot what they're actually called. I think a bird bar, but either way, they're really heavy. And he rigged a dangler off of it, so the squid was dangling midway through our spread, dude. And that thing got crushed, man.
Yeah, that's sick. That is so awesome. I just can't wait. I hope we have a killer season. Someone asked earlier, I never got a chance to bring it up, about if we ever jig for yellowfin or bluefin. And of course, we love to get them on the jig when we can. Last year we didn't have too many opportunities to jig the yellowfin, but we did
hook a couple that night in the Wilmington on the jig, but we think now that they're big eyes. Because my buddy broke them off very quickly.
And then same with bluefin, it was just tough. We did cast at them a few times this year, but it's hard not to know if you know you can get one.
Our buddies though took our skiff out.
They got one. Yep.
Casting.
And I got one last year, 2023 or 2 years ago now. on the jig with Tyler. But it's just. You could either focus all your time and effort on that. I really think probably have made it happen. If we
I really feel like the fish we had last year were moving, and I feel like when they're moving, migrating through, they're not really hanging around. It's hard to really target them.
We also were going for efficiency and like a batting average type thing. It's like you're going out putting fuel in.
Yeah, I mean, but
the cold. You want to kill a fish.
There's been times, and you weren't here around then, but dude, there's been times where they wouldn't eat anything but the jig at the hot dog. Like we were going out, like people like Jim Bug were going out and jigging because that's all you could catch them with.
Or yellowfin.
Yellowfin.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yellowfin, we haven't even. I wasn't even fishing for them. When there was a jig bite that was good anytime recently. So it's like...
It's been a couple years since we've had a good jig chunk bite where the fish are like stacked up in one spot,
But I was just saying for bluefin, like, between it being winter and us like getting fuel in the boat.
There was a lot of times we had charters and we had trips where we
you want to
really
guarantee the
batting
meat.
Averages,
right? You want to guarantee the meat, and we
not everybody knows how to
trolling.
cast either. Like you take people out.
Right, you really gotta have the right gear. Is also what it comes down to. Like, a lot of those guys that are doing it on the regular, they have like 20K Stellas and shit, and 14K Stellas, and it's not because. I mean, it is also because you need the drag and you need the stopping power and the hold that much braid to have the line for when the runs, but also it's because you can do it on a smaller reel, but that thing ain't gonna last long if you're doing it as much as we fish. Like if you're fishing as much as we fish, you pretty much need a Stella 20K or something along that line, like the Daiwa,
at least a twin power,
Saltiga, or twin power, something like higher end spinning sealed salt. Heavy drag reel with the high line capacity.
I agree.
Hold plenty of braid.
And plus, you want the technology now. Like you can get those jigging rods, and they're so light. Like it's a game changer when you're jigging something. Nice.
Or the slow pitch. Like if you have conventional with like the OSHA jigger, or like the big, those too. Yeah, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys out west, they freaking cast iron to freaking on Talicas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you got to have the gear. And we were more set up for trolling, and but we're gonna be jigging for the yellowfins for sure because you can get away with a little bit smaller gear.
Remo wanted a yellowfin on the jig like 3 or 4 years ago at the hot dog. It was like 120 pounds.
That's awesome.
It was a giant. It was a stud.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna. Hopefully we got a lot of things planned, a lot of ideas, a lot of cool things we could do if the bite is good and the fish are here and the life is here.
That's the question.
That's going to be the telltale.
Yeah, it's like this year we just did not have the opportunity, man. Like we did not have the opportunity to sit in one spot and wait for fish.
A Juan cheese bar, maybe that's what.
Juan cheese bar, yeah, that's it. He's got it. Whoever said that's right.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Gardy.
Juan cheese bar. That's what it's called.
But yeah, we're stoked. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to have more coming to the website. April 1st is going to be the official launch. It'll be live. You guys will be able to purchase tackle.
You can still get an analysis, like if you just want to buy a daily analysis. But this is going to be, if you're fishing a lot, it's going to be a better deal.
Inshore and offshore available. That's anytime. That's now. And then, of course, the membership we feel is the best way to go. You'll get the best deal. When the season kicks off, right now is the slowest time that report wise for the website. For the few people that are members, they know, I communicate with the members regularly right now because we're a tight-knit, small little group at the moment. And it's probably going to stay that way, relatively speaking, for a while, because even 100 people would be pretty tight-knit, pretty small group. But, in the summer, when the bite is hot, I'm updating it every day, sometimes twice a day. If nothing changes, it might be, a day in between where I don't. But even a lot of times, even when it's like, we get those blows where nobody can fish for 3 days. I still update it, and I'm like, I'm watching the water.
And having a logbook is such an important tool to help you guys catch more fish, and that's ultimately what this membership we're trying to do is help you guys catch more fish.
And then
that's the number one goal.
Yep, and then we also have the member video library, which we're going to be uploading. There is some stuff in there, and we're going to be uploading more. We want to do some more like RipCharts tutorials for you guys that are getting.
And
these
some
giveaway,
secrets. I still have
accounts.
big secrets. I'm not giving everything away to everybody for free. So,
well, as you guys probably know, I feel like most of our fans here, especially that are tuning in for something like this, are hardcore fishermen themselves or anglers themselves. And you guys know what goes into this. You guys know every piece of information is valuable, and there's always something you can learn, something, even us, we're always figuring things out, learning new things, and that's where we can share them with you guys, is on our website through all the different methods, whether it's on the daily reports, the video library, and then now like tackle,
and like if you can ask us things, like if
that too,
I'll tell you exactly what's going on if you remember, and not these little, like tackle. Yeah, you guys asking these leader questions, it's a good question, but like that's not going to help you catch more fish.
Well, no, and I mean what's
going to help you catch more fish is learning how to find out where these fish are. And in order to do that, you got to have people help us if you're not looking at this stuff every day.
Yeah, and the other thing, in the summer, in the heat of the moment, or even bluefin season when the bite's on, and we're like sometimes even out there on the boat, I get a lot of people messaging me, hitting me up for information, this and that. What are they biting? Where are they at? This and that. And, I tell the members every single detail. Like, the second it happens, I'm like, hey, guys, we're on them right now. We got it on this. Like, here's what you could do to go get one. People that are randomly just hitting me up on Instagram, I might not get back to you till like 3 days later. Who knows what I'm going to say? Who knows how broad I'm going to be? And that's not me being a dick or anything. I'm just like, I get the messages when I can. If you're lucky, maybe I gave you some secret sauce for free. But I'm saying, for the most part, the members are getting every detail.
Yeah. You're getting real time. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of days where Taylor isn't fishing with
valuable.
Me. And he's back on the docks, updating everything,
and with people. The Starlink, Jeff can tell me the second they get a bite, like when I'm on land.
Yeah.
I'll be like, dude, I'm at the Washington in the 800 or whatever. I just got yellowfins. Yeah.
Covered up.
Exactly.
We all wish for, man. But yeah, that's what it's about, catching more fish. Like, I always say to people when they ask me questions like leader, little things like that, I do the same stuff. So don't, like, I'm not making fun of you or grilling you. I'm just saying, like,
I know those are good questions too.
Well, like I think confidence as a fisherman is more important than anything else. So if it makes you feel more confident, then put it out there. That's what I always do. When I feel like, this is what we need to do, I just do it because it's my confidence. It builds my confidence. And as fishermen, we all want to have confidence, because when you're not confident, you're going to start trying to do crazy shit and do different things and catch less fish. So I just think confidence is, keep that in mind when you're, asking these, or like doing things this year, trying to change things up. Just keep your confidence in mind. I want to keep my confidence up. It's super important to be confident what you're running,
Yeah, and Dennis said network's a big key, and we've said that before too. We touched on that last time. Network is a big key. Not only our network and our membership and learning from us, but building your own smaller network, like whether it's the dock where you slip, where you tie up your boat, or whether it's a little group on Facebook, or just your buddies in a group text. Whoever it is, some other local senders.
But the big things that I see happen wrong in these groups is they get too big, and if you,
a lot of
the
times.
big thing is like that's why a lot of people, like Taylor's saying, join a couple groups, because a lot of these groups will get too big, and then the intel becomes crappy, because when you show up at a spot and there's 100 other boats there, I don't feel confident. As a fisherman, I lose confidence.
And that's also part of the reason why ours is a paywall. It's not something, we do want it to be it's going to be exclusive. I mean, I don't mind saying that, I know this, it's niche. Yeah. We are specifically the Mid-Atlantic Canyons from the Norfolk to the
Northeast
Blending Core. We're covering to the Hudson and Atlantis. We're covering all that, but we're the Northeast specific area, and we're the only ones out there on the water. We're doing this full time, we're doing everything.
Connections with people in New York. I'm building connections right now with people up there where I can plug you in with intel up there as well. Not only I get intel now from up there, but I'm talking about like super specific stuff.
Well, and just on a grander scheme, we're just trying to build something, a whole thing here. Me and you are with Always Bent, with our website, our YouTube, our everything, and all of it is based off our passion for fishing and sharing it with you all and helping. And the network is going to be part of that, though, and we still have to have a small network ourselves. And even this website, the members.
You never have too many. His point is, you can never have too many networks that you're a part of.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
people that pay for Canyon Runner service and pay for Ruff's reports every single time they go out. And I can. That's not just one person. I know a lot of people that do that stuff. I mean, because if you talk to people that have won tournaments and won a lot of money, you can never not go out there with enough information, intel. You can give me as much intel as you guys have. Give it to me. That's what they want.
Not to mention with offshore, at least in tuna and marlin, it's like, you're spending a decent amount of money either way in fuel alone to get there. What's an extra 50, 100,
Dude,
200?
a lot of these guys, they got 15 hours, 20 hours into something before they even leave for a trip.
Right.
They're coming from somewhere further away, and they got to take their boat down. They got to put their boat in the water. They got to take their boat out of the water, and then you got to you got to rig all your stuff up. It's a lot of work, man, and it is.
And if you can increase the odds that you're going to catch fish and put meat on the boat, who doesn't want to do that?
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to be ashamed and say I used to buy tons of rough reports, man.
I mean, there's still tools and resources that we use, whether it costs money, like RipCharts does. We have a discount code, which we do need to make sure that's still active, and we'll give you guys, it's Always Bent Fishing, I believe, or it's either Always Bent Fishing OC or Always Bent Fishing.
I'm pretty sure it should be still active.
And it should be $10 or 10% off. I forget which one, but...
Don't quote us on that. It's 10 of something.
It's a discount, and RipCharts is one of the few tools that is well worth paying for, just like Navionics and Jarman's usually a useful tool.
I love how Eeyore calls Garmin Jarman's. If you guys ever listen to him, he always says Garmin.
It's ingrained in my brain. It was a joke back in the day, and it's just like ingrained in my brain.
He's never stopped saying it. I'm like, are you talking about the Garmin's, right? He's
back from the GPS in the cars.
And I'll say Garmin to him.
Not even to do with the boat.
I'll say Garmin to him, and he's like, yeah, the Garmin's. And I'm like, you just said Jarman like 7 times in a row. I wasn't sure.
I still say it sometimes, dude.
He says it all the time. I've never heard him say
And we don't
Garmin.
have a deal with them or anything. I'm just saying that's another tool. But RipCharts is one of the few, and some of them are free. And we give all of these tools to our members on the website. And, and you guys can find tools of your own, or I'm sure you have some. And
well, I mean, like, the last thing I want to cover, and we got to... the big difference between us and other competitors or other people out there is that I'm out there doing it every day, almost every day, and I really love. Not only do I understand this oceanography stuff, I love it. It's my bread and I literally sit in bed at night and look at this stuff and research it. And not only do I look at these SSTs, I research why. Why does this happen? Why does the water do this? What affects it? What events affect water, the movement of it? I want to know everything there is to know about it, and that's what's, setting me apart from these other competitors. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm doing it.
Yeah, and I kind of knew, but the more I learn, the more I realize and see, oh wow, dude, there's really something, you're on to something. It's really, you really do know something, and seeing we caught the first yellowfin season last year, and then didn't you have it the year before that
I've had so many. I've lost count. I've lost count of how many first tunas I have.
And that's not even including the ones where it's you technically got the first bluefin, but we never submitted it to anybody to get any sort of recognition or anything.
I would say I've had at least, out of Ocean City, I've at least had the first tuna of the year at least 5 times, maybe more than that. Probably 6, 7, 8, something like that. 5 to 8 is what I'd say.
Yeah, thanks, Dennis. He said you're one of the best he's seen out on YouTube at the moment, or
hopefully forever. I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm never gonna stop working at this stuff, so I'm gonna continue to improve.
I don't know anyone else other than Rolfs that's really doing
that guy,
especially for free.
That one guy, Hilton, he's pretty obsessed with it, and he fishes a lot, but he is not fishing our area, and we live in a very niche, unique area. That we have the Labrador current, the down south, they don't have 2 currents converging like that we do. We have the water movement up here is super unpredictable, man.
They have that in the Gulf where it dumps out of that river, with the Mississippi River.
Well, I mean, they have the loop current, it just spins around in a circle, and eddies loop off that current.
Yeah,
it's different.
But it's especially too, like you guys got to take into I mean, I'm sure people do, but this is all free. Like we're going to be giving away our nuggets and stuff that we do on the YouTube, on the live streams. But we also want to, and we're figuring this out, as we go along, but we also eventually want to maybe incorporate some sort of like members only live stream, and I don't know if that'll be on a YouTube type platform or if that'll be on our website yet,
This is Taylor talking. I'm just here.
Well, because this summer we are going to be live streaming free, on YouTube right now, like we are now, while we're fishing, while we're trolling.
I think what he's trying to get, what I'm picking up is like we're teaching you guys now like a lot of things, but there's a lot of things that we want to hold sacred as well. We want to teach you guys and help you guys catch more fish. Like that is our goal. However that is,
Yeah, and we want to find the people that want to learn and want to know. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't want to try and shove this down somebody's throat that doesn't care about this. We'll find the crowd that really cares to learn and cares, about this type of stuff. Some guys are just like, hey man, I just want to get on your boat, or I just want to watch you guys tear them up, or I just want to come with you and you show me what to do. Or they're like, I got a boat, I think I could do that. I got enough gear, tell me where to go or tell me what to do. I'll pay for it or whatever. There's all different types of people, but I feel like there's, this is a way for us to connect with you all, connect with other anglers, and
no doubt,
basically grow and learn together. And we're trying to build a big network, a big community, and we can all, fish and learn and catch more fish together.
Yeah, I mean, that's the
way
goal,
I look at it. I think that's pretty much sums it up. Or what I was trying to say.
We're gonna move on, but thank you guys so much for all your support so far.
Yep, we appreciate it. Subscribe.
It means so much. Like you guys watching the videos and giving us feedback and commenting and liking it. It means so much to us. It really helps us with the YouTube. So thank you, everyone. Wholeheartedly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much. And I can't wait to see what this summer's in store, and I can't wait to hear from you guys about your seasons. It's gonna be super fun.
Yep, and we just can't thank you guys. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. Tune in Wednesday nights for the live stream.
New video every Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep, new video every week of some kind, whether it's an educational video or us fishing. But until fishing season gets here, like offshore tuna season, it'll just be the Wednesday night 8 p.m. live streams. And then we'll have more information coming once tuna season gets here about how that's going to work with
the live streaming.
Because we won't be able to stream every single trip.
We're also going to try to go out and pilot this a little bit.
That'll be coming soon. And April 1st, the website Tackle launches. It'll be available. It's time to get ready for the spring fishing season, summer fishing season.
Bend the poles.
So we'll have and there will be more drops to come. April 1st is just the first launch. It'll be available to the public. Members also, but
tuna do something to me.
It's gonna be awesome, man. We are pumped, and thank you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
See you guys.
See you guys next week.
Woo! We appreciate it.
Out.